Alright, welcome to the Destiny Search Project webpage. This is Damon. I am the Director of Operations and President of Destiny Search Project. The reason we are making this video today is a quick briefing about our newest abilities when we open a Search Center. We now have this Search Center Operations tab, so we'll go ahead and click that. And as you see, it's password protected, so only volunteers that are identified as staff will be able to access this part of the website. They'll be given the password, and once they're given that password, they can access our Search Center Operations page. Now, as you see here, there are several different things that are now available. There's registration, check-in, briefings, dispatch, debriefing, Topo map tool, and the mapping assignments page. So we'll just briefly look at each of these. We're not going to go into details on how to do them, but we'll at least have a quick look at what some of them are. So now someone will be able to go to the registration, and when they open this registration page, it's going to take a second here to connect to the database, and it'll load a search registration form. Now this form is all the information we need to collect from volunteers in order to assign them as a search team member or team leader. Once we collect all the information, we have to actually verify the person's identification, so they'll need to show us a driver's license or passport or other valid ID. We'll mark that they're verified, and then we'll submit that form, and once that's submitted, it will immediately be in our database. Now once they're submitted, we can also check them in by just selecting them and going ahead and marking that they're available right now and submit them. Once you've submitted any of these forms, they immediately will refresh and be ready for the next operation in just a couple moments' time. Now what's really great about having these forms is our volunteer staff members will never have to see the actual database. So some volunteers might be working on the registration page or the volunteer check-in page. This volunteer check-in page is specifically for volunteers that have already been verified and are just returning maybe on a second day of a search or later in the afternoon after they searched in the morning and they went home for a while. So in that, we're able to just mark volunteers. There are none in the database right now, as we just have a few listed in our demo database. But it's very similar to the other operation we showed a moment ago. Now in our volunteer briefing page, this gets a little bit more interesting. In this page, we have another form. This form is to give our volunteers their daily briefing. Every day, volunteers will need to be briefed on what they are to be looking for, what is going on, all the information about the particular missing person, some other things. Now, I don't have any volunteers in the database currently that can be briefed, so we're not going to be able to mark them as briefed, but it'll automatically mark them as briefed for the day, and then that'll get changed each day. Now, what's cool here is we go to this briefing page, and we mark that we're at the Search Center, and we have a Search Center briefing that is created automatically when we have a search request made. So this will have all the information about the missing person. As you see here, this is just alpha test, because right now this software is in its alpha test phase. We will probably be launching into beta test in the next couple weeks. But as you see, it gives you a briefing and tells you a little bit about what the person giving the briefing should read and state. Has information about what the person looks like, where they were last seen, which police department is in charge of the investigation, and a lot of very important tips about what to do and not do during a search. So this briefing form is very useful in allowing us to provide briefings to people. The next tool we have is our dispatch tool. On the dispatch tool, we have the similar type setup of a couple different forms. Now, the first form here is our dispatch form. So when this comes up, we'll be able to show you here in just a moment. Sometimes it takes a moment for the internet to connect to the database. So we're going to go ahead and select that we have alpha test. That's the only case in the current software. And then we're going to go ahead and select a map. Now you'll notice this says map 4, map 7. That's because some maps have already been assigned. So it's only going to let you select from maps that are currently available. So we'll go ahead and assign this map, and then we can go ahead and assign some team members. It does look like we have some team members that are ready to go. So let's go ahead and first select TL4, TL being a designator for team leader, and TM for team member. So we're going to select Johnny as our team leader. And then we'll go ahead and throw Albert, and it looks like Judith is ready to go as well. And maybe Anne is also ready to go. So we're going to add them all in. We're going to put a dispatch time. And we'll go ahead and submit that and get them dispatched out. That team is now ready to go. Now, the next part about that that's really exciting is once you create a new assignment, you're able to go to this database and go over and find the team that we just created, and it'll automatically show you a wonderful, let me pull up one that's an actual team. So here we go. It will show you this wonderful assignment dispatch sheet. Shows you what their team number is. The team number is basically a designator about which case number we're on, which day of the search we're on, and which search map number it is. It will also show you the names of everyone on the team and their phone numbers if we have them, information about where they're going, and a phone number for the search command center, which we did not enter into the database at this point. The other cool part is that it has a map embedded in it. And what's really great about this is I can now hit print and print it to the printer and give it to the team before they leave. That way they will have all of the information about where they're going and who is going with them. So this is a really, really exciting tool that allows us to do a lot of things. And as you see, that form has already reset itself and it's ready to go for the next assignment. So let's go ahead and close our dispatch page. We'll go ahead and have a look at the debriefing tool. So in the debriefing, when the team comes back, we have to get information from them about what they found, if they didn't complete certain areas, and whatnot. So it looks like there's a couple teams that are out currently. So we'll just go ahead and say that this team has returned. And we're going to say that this map was not complete. So we're going to say, did not finish the lower section. Right? And in reality, we'd make a bit more defined notes about what street or things like that. If they had any pictures, we could attach pictures to this as well. And then we're going to submit that. And now that team has been debriefed. They've been marked returned. And all of the volunteers that were on that team are available to be reassigned to a new assignment. So that is really, really nice. Then we have our mapping tool. I'm going to skip Sartopo for just a second, as that's not part of the main system and database, but we'll look at this mapping assignment tool. So once a map is made, you're able to go in here and create a new map. So to do that, we have a bunch of different things you have to do. We'll probably do a full video on mapping one of these days. But we're going to get Google Plus code, which is a unique identifier for a 3-foot square anywhere on the planet. So that's kind of a way that we can identify a specific map, is by that location. Then you're going to mark what type of size it is, what type of search it is. Are you canvassing door to door with the flyer? Are you going through a field checking businesses? Is it a special search like water or canine or any other thing? Then you're going to put what's on the northern part of the search, the eastern part, the southern part, and the western edge. Then you're going to upload a PDF of that map and submit it. That then makes that map available to use in that other tool we looked at earlier for dispatching. So now real quick, while we have just a couple minutes left, we'll look at Sartopo. This is our mapping tool. And as you see when it comes up, it's going to show you all of the maps that are currently made. Now, I'm not going to go into details on creating the maps, but what's nice is once you've created these maps, you're able to just go in here, print them, and that's how you get the PDF file in order to upload that into our database and have available. Now, it does take Sartopo a couple minutes to create the map and print it out, But what's really nice about both of the mapping tools, whether it's SARTOPO or the database program, these can be done online at home. So we can use volunteers that are anywhere, not necessarily right at the search center. They could be clear across the country, and they can be mapping for us and getting the assignments ready to go. So that's just a real brief overview of some of the new features and tools that will be coming to our search center operations in the very near future. As I said, we'll be beta testing in the next couple weeks, and then we'll officially launch it as the 5.0 operations plan in the next month or so. So we're really looking forward to this. It's going to help us to provide much better services during searches and make things a lot easier. The last comment I'd like to make before we move on is all of these pages are mobile friendly. So you can open them on a cell phone, a tablet, and we can have people registering people with just their phones. We won't need computers, we won't need servers or things like that. This is all internet based and browser friendly. That will work on mobile platforms as well. Now, mapping, you will probably need a computer, and some of the dispatch stuff you might want a computer. And obviously, there are times where we have to interface with the database itself. But we will only need 1 or 2 people at the search center doing that, while 10 to 15 or 20 other volunteers can be taking care of all the registration, dispatching, and other things. So we'll get into more details in another video another time. But that's it. Again, this is Damon with the Destiny Search Project, and we really hope that you'll help us when a family needs our help.